Hello, I'm Chuck Martin, and this is Tech Future. With me today is Beth Flippo, CEO and founder of Dexa. Beth has been senior business analyst at Goldman Sachs, vice president of Cantor Fitzgerald, and chief technology officer at Tellegrid Technologies. At Dexa, Beth sets the vision and strategy for advanced drone delivery. Welcome here, Beth.
Thank you. So excited to be on today.
So tell the listeners to start. What is Dexa?
So Dexa, we used to be called Drone Express. We are a drone package delivery company. So we focus on delivering using our autonomous aircraft that we manufacture ourselves.
So who do you deliver for?
So we just announced our partnership with Grubhub. We are the first drone delivery company operating in the Northeast. Our goal is to get to the cities. So that's why they're a great partner, among other reasons. But we also fly for Kroger and Papa John's, and we have a lot of other partners that are in our pipeline right now.
So what kind of things do they fly?
We fly everything: grocery, fast food, restaurant food. We're working with a partner doing construction materials. We can do home improvement materials, auto parts, you name it.
So tell me about the drone itself.
So our aircraft, we are on the fifth iteration of it. It is a hexacopter, and it was designed that way originally because when we were going through certification, airworthiness certification, the FAA wanted the drone to stay in the air if one motor failed. And in that case, you couldn't have a quad, you had to have multiple motors. But then the public really said, well, we feel really comfortable with a parachute. So they changed their opinion and said, you should have a parachute on board. Once you have a parachute, you don't need six motors anymore. So our new version that's coming out is a much more powerful aircraft, and it's a quad with a parachute. But the DE 2020, the V5, it is certified by the Secretary of Transportation. It's on the S1 list, which is the highest level of airworthiness certification from the FAA for an unmanned aircraft.
Can you talk about Part 135 FAA? Because I know you have certification for that as well.
Yes. So that is a air carrier license. It's actually a domestic air carrier license, and it's for unmanned flight. So it's a federal license, and it is the only way you can fly cargo for compensation in the national airspace. So you'll have a lot of drone companies out there that are like, yeah, we're flying, we're doing deliveries. If you don't have a 135, you are not allowed to earn money for those deliveries in any shape or form. So it's kind of like the holy grail, if you will. So those two together, to have the certified airworthiness on the aircraft and to have the operator's license. There's only 4 companies in the US that have it, and it's Amazon, Google Wing, Zipline, and Little Us.
When you fly these things, tell me, talk us through the experience. Is there a drone operator, or is it automatic, or what does it look like?
So our drones are fully autonomous. There are no sticks. You couldn't control it manually, even if you wanted to. And it's there. Our pilots are like air traffic controllers. They sit behind a screen and they load the mission in of what it's supposed to do. And really, all they can do is, if the drone is having a problem, they can issue a command like land, go to a safe zone, or launch your parachute. But that's really all that they can do.
So these literally are pilotless vehicles.
Yes. And eventually, we won't even need the pilot to load the mission in. They will truly become air traffic controllers. They will just be watching aircraft like air traffic today.
Is that what happens now, pretty much?
In manned aviation, that's all air traffic control. Nobody's actually, guiding the planes, and that's where the FAA wants to go to. The truth is, the human in the loop is usually, I wouldn't say the cause of, but usually a problem for manned aviation as opposed to the aircraft. So for unmanned, they are trying to, lean in to the fully autonomous and not let the human element possibly cause a problem.
So can your drone see other drones in the air, like in air traffic controllers or collision avoidance, or well, like what's the technology?
So we have ADSB in, which lets us know where manned aviation traffic is. And then we use remote ID where we say where we are and where other drones are. So we do ground-based detect and avoid. We monitor from the ground to see if other drones are in the area. Not on board yet, because there's a whole complicated part of trying to get that to be on board in flight, because it's not just, getting cameras on there. The real thing is, what do you do when you identify a drone is there? Do you wait? Do you hold? Do you go around it? These are all things that, we're implementing now.
How does the drone know what to do?
So right now, that's where you would have the human element, say, wait, or land or something. But you don't really encounter a lot of other aircraft, unmanned aircraft right now where we operate. So right now, we use remote ID to know where their location is.
So do you have to worry about hobby drones, like individuals who are flying them who don't know what they're doing, basically?
We do, but everybody should be announcing where they are as when they're flying unmanned aircraft. But so far, we fly a lot higher than most of them do. So we haven't had an incident yet.
What kind of height are you flying at?
We fly at 400 feet. That's the ceiling for in our world.
And how fast typically?
So our drone, the initial drone can go 40 miles an hour. Our newer drone can go 70 miles an hour, and it's as the crow flies. So it's pretty cool.
And it holds onto the package?
It holds onto the package. We have double grip onto the package. So everything in the FAA is redundancy. So if one system fails, another one's holding it.
So can you talk about the AI that's in use in the systems?
So the AI that we're working on is when you fly. So right now, if we're flying to somebody's home, we use these very detailed, up-to-date maps we pay for, and we pick a spot on their property that we say, this is the safest place to deliver to. But the AI that we're developing on board will have the drone use its camera and be able to, in real time, look down and say, this is a shed, this is a pool, this is the best place here to drop the package. And this way also, dynamically, if a kid or a dog were to run under, the aircraft would know, stop, go find another location. Something is there. So that's the AI. It's a perfect AI scenario.
And what system is that? Is that Microsoft or something else?
So we're developing it, on the Azure with Microsoft, but it's all internal. It's our people developing it.
And you have image recognition in it already?
So we do. That's all part of it. So right now, a lot of the testing we're doing of our AI is, in the cloud. So essentially, it sends the imagery back and it comes back with an answer. I am an embedded software developer. My goal is to get everything to be on board the aircraft and doing it in real time. And that's the most complicated because it requires a lot of power, and it also has to carry, the weight of this system too that's on there. So, but that's the end goal, is for the aircraft to be making decisions in real time for itself.
How much weight can they carry typically?
So our first drone carries 5 pounds, and our second carries 20 pounds.
20 pounds is a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot of weight. It's really one of the more advanced systems out there. And yeah, we're excited that it can carry so much.
Can you talk about your business to business application where businesses are using the drones for other businesses to deliver supplies or whatever?
So Wind Supply is the largest construction materials distributor in the United States, and they use it to deliver to their partners that then use it in, their construction materials in their projects. So that's one example of, where they're using it. We also are talking to auto parts companies where they want to deliver, most importantly, to mechanic shops. We talk about just delivering it to the guy who's at his house, who's under the car, who doesn't want to get out and the car doesn't drive. But they're like, if we could, their biggest problem is getting this stuff to the mechanic same day. It's very expensive, and most of the time they don't want to pay for it. So your car stays overnight until the next day when the part comes in. And that part is within a mile usually of that mechanic, but it's very difficult, the logistics to get it. So those are just some examples of how drones are going to deliver B2B.
What the Wind Supply you mentioned, what kind of things will they deliver?
So they do all kinds of improved, like tools and glues and all different kinds of materials that anybody would need, but a lot of tools.
So is that like to construction sites?
Yes, construction sites are their biggest thing.
So when someone sees this, a company that's new, like that, for example, do they just have an aha moment? It's like, wow, this could change everything, or do they say, well, we'll give it a try, maybe it'll work? What's the general attitude?
Most people realize this is a real game changer. We actually have more people coming to us than we can work with. It's a good problem to have, but everybody understands this is an eco-friendly technology. But above all else, what makes drone delivery so unique is that it is the same time and same cost for a delivery anywhere in the world. And nothing in logistics has ever been able to be timed like that. That, there's nothing to slow it down. There's nobody that has to go and, you know, use the restroom or something, or have that human element that it might take a little longer. This is something that can time everything so precisely down to the second that nothing like this has ever existed. So they understand, like, it might not be able to carry 100 pounds, but if you get in now, it will eventually carry hundreds of pounds. It will be doing all these flights. It's going to be safer than any option that's available today, especially ground-based transportation.
Seems so much more efficient than delivering something by a van or a truck or something over for the last couple of miles.
Yeah, there's so much volatility when you think about driving something on the ground. You've got the changing price of gas. You've got labor laws that are different in every city, how much you have to pay people. You've got traffic and time that could affect everything. So if you're a business, think of trying to budget your delivery expenses when there's that volatile. There's so many unknowns that are constantly changing. Just now, our gas prices went up. Like, that's something that really messes with their bottom line, because you can't go to the grocery store and see the price changing every day depending on what gas prices are. And this eliminates that. This will allow them to balance their budget, plan accordingly, be able to totally utilize, streamline their logistics in a way they couldn't do it today.
And does a business typically just take one drone, or they take a fleet? I mean, what do they typically have?
So we don't sell our aircraft, we're the operators. So we usually, at every location, we have at least 3 aircraft that are there, and each aircraft can do 4 deliveries an hour. And the goal is to get to 1 to 40. So one pilot monitoring 40 aircraft on a screen. So if each of those aircraft is doing 4 deliveries an hour, you've got 1 hour of labor. One person can do 160 deliveries an hour. That's unheard of. No one's ever been able to come close to that. And that's where we're really excited to get to.
So does your staff load the drone, load the product, whatever it is, and
So right now we do, because we're just still new, and we want to make sure that when it comes out of the store that it's not too heavy or has something with it. But the goal is eventually our new drone has a winch that picks up in flight. So the drone will, when you say, your whatever store, I've got my pickup ready, the drone will fly over, lower its winch, attach it to the box, and raise the box up to itself, and then take off. So you won't have to have anybody to worry about in that.
so the drones are on site, say at a location. Does your staff have to be on location as well? Is that how it works right now?
Right now, we do have a few pilots on site to be able to attach the box and be able to monitor and make sure that everything is working properly. But it's just because it's new and we want to make sure we're out there. It's very exciting when you're operating. People come out to watch. People are tailgating. You need to make sure somebody's there to answer some questions so they don't touch the drone. And it's still something we like to be a part of.
How big are these things?
So our drone is 4 feet around in a circle. With the props turned out, it's 5 feet, but it's pretty small. And even our quad is around the same footprint. And
So
we've
what's
been
it?
tested for noise. We're the quietest of all the drones so far. So,
So what surprises you in all of this? Because you've been doing this for a while.
honestly, it's just how excited people are for it. When we started this back in 2019, at that time, people were scared about surveillance. Everybody was like, you're going to be spying on me in my backyard. I'm going to be by the pool and you're going to be watching. And now it's like nobody cares, because back then, I think people didn't use delivery as much. but COVID changed all that. So before COVID, we would get, pizza once a week or something like that. You wouldn't have that much delivery. But after COVID, you're getting it multiple times a day. And now everybody wants delivery. And the more you use the current delivery methods, the more you use like the gig economy drivers and all that, people are really looking for a better solution. And especially the restaurants and the stores, this is their brand. They want to make sure they control the food and whatever it is that they've done until it gets into your hands. And right now there's somebody in the middle who can do whatever they want to it. And that isn't good for the brand, and that isn't good for the consumer either. I think that exposure and also the time, you don't know when your food's coming to you. You've no idea. You're watching on a screen. You're hoping that they're not picking up 3 deliveries at the same time, but we've all watched it happen. Drones are just totally different. They're eco-friendly, so you don't have any guilt. There's no tipping, and you know exactly what you're getting. Nobody messed with it from when it left the store. And I think seeing people just jumping on to this and getting excited about it, it's such a great feeling.
So you're now doing some business like the wind supply that you talked about. Do you see that companies are starting to look at those kinds of things internally? So it's beyond going from, say, food delivery or Walmart type deliveries of small things quickly delivered. Are you seeing that businesses are saying, hey, we can use this internally even more?
Yeah, we even something simple as having a forklift operator, doing something, those they cost a lot of money, and there's a lot of, you know, things you have to control when you have people in there. And they're thinking of all different ways, even internally, not our aircraft, but other drones, about using them inside so that they can not have a bigger footprint on the ground. They could build a bigger building and have the drone go all the way up, raise up and grab whatever it needs off the top shelf, bring it down. Like, these are things that weren't available before. And when you talk about them, you think about like the history of cities and how steel made it possible to build these bigger buildings. Like technology, the elevator made it possible to build more vertically. So technology really drives a lot of how we physically live and build our buildings. And that's where drones are really you're gonna see things change tremendously so that corporations can incorporate these drones inside and outside their facilities.
What are the typical delivery speeds that you're seeing at the time in terms of time of deliveries? Like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
We say 15 minutes from when you place your order, it's at your house. So again, we only go out maybe 3-4 miles. So we don't travel that far at 40 miles an hour. So the actual airtime is very short, but you still need to load it on the aircraft. You still need to, when you come down to do the delivery, make sure the area is clear. These things are a little slower, but yeah, but when we were testing, it was like on average was like 11 minutes from when orders are placed to when it's at your door. It's kind of
That's
crazy.
fast.
Yeah,
Well, especially if you're a business and you need something.
absolutely. If you think about like even doctors, if they could have pharmacies deliver it so when you're done with your appointment, your prescription or whatever it is waiting for you, you'll go to that doctor all the time. Like that is, there are going to be a lot of benefits. You're going to see how creative people are going to be to eliminate these middle steps that we have in companies and in our life.
So are you seeing ultimately in terms of how this evolves, it becoming just essentially being able to carry more and being more automatic?
Yes, I see the future is going to be much bigger aircraft. And eventually this is, so I try to explain to people that our Part 135 is not a drone license. It's an unmanned operator's license. And you can carry lots of weight. You don't have to carry 5 pounds. That's what we're doing today, but it's not even forced electric. It could be a gas powered aircraft that's very big, but it's the ability to fly it unmanned in the airspace. That's what makes it so valuable. That's what makes it so rare. But our goal is not to fly burritos forever as much as, that's what we're doing today. Eventually, this is the future of all cargo delivery. There's a pilot shortage in this country and around the world. People don't want to become pilots anymore because manned aviation is so automated too. It's pretty boring to fly all the way to Japan and, not have anything to do. So as we get less and less people wanting to be pilots, this is something that will, it's like a new industry for them to come into and be a part of it. but not have to be in the aircraft.
Last question. We're sitting here talking a year from now. We're talking about unmanned delivery. What would we be talking about in a year?
In a year from now, I think you're going to see, especially for us in most metropolitan areas, you're going to have drone delivery. A lot of our competitors are not in the cities. I'm a New Yorker. I want to get to the cities. I know that's where the volume is, that's where the demand is, and if it doesn't work there, don't bother building it. That's my view as an engineer in technology. So I'm hoping that we continue working with our partners, and in a year, most major cities have it, and within 2 years, the gimmick's going to be over. People are going to be using it purely for its use, not because they want to see the drone. We still get a lot of that, but that is what I hope to get to, where people don't even care to open their door that the drone was even in their neighborhood.
Well, I look forward to that conversation. Thank you all for
Yeah.
listening to Tech Future, and thank you very much, Beth. Best wishes.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a really exciting time in our space.